Welcome to Your Anime Senpais. I'm John, and today I'm going to be watching and reacting to Fate Zero, and we're going to be getting into episode 6. And before we do that, let's go over episode 5 real quick to bring ourselves back up to speed. So, in episode 5, we had Ryder appear, announce all the different information about himself that you're not really supposed to announce. Call everyone out to just have an all-out battle, get things over with. But while that's all going on, Gilgamesh, Archer, he arrives and just starts blasting his noble phantasm over and over, just spamming it. And, well, I guess I should mention, we also had Berserker show up at the same time. Berserker, for whatever reason, just really ticked off Archer. So we also found out, I'm kind of going out of order, but Berserker's noble phantasm, his power, whatever ability, to turn anything he touches into his noble phantasm. So OP. Still can't believe that's his ability. But, yeah, I don't know what that's going to lead to, but that's going to be pretty crazy, I bet. So, Lancer jumps in, saves Saber, but before things wrap up, we had Archer called off from attacking by Command Seal, which that was kind of interesting for me to finally see how that works, because while I know in the past Waver threatened to use it, and I was like, oh, whatever, use your Command Seal up, I was unaware how powerful these Command Seals were. Once Lancer's master used it, Lancer was pretty much just conscious, but he was just unable to control his actions anymore. He was compelled. He had to do what he was ordered to do under the Command Seal. So that's pretty crazy. That's a lot of power, depending on what your command is for your servant. So his order was to join Berserker and take on Saber. Well, obviously Ryder wouldn't stand for that. He jumped in, took care of Berserker, ran him over, one and done. Then he basically said, hey, if you don't call off Lancer, I want to join Saber. We're going to take him out right now. It worked. So Saber was saved. Lancer was called off. But Saber still has her tendon cut. And Berserker's master, tracksuit guy, what's his name? Karyamato? Doesn't seem to be doing too good, but honestly, since episode 1 and the whole worm thing, he's not been looking pretty good since. So, but we had a familiar with a camera attached to it watching the church. We'll see kind of where that leads in the future, maybe. And we find out that Bluebeard, Caster, as you know, didn't really care for this part, but he found his true love, whatever, which was Saber. So we're just going to have to deal with Caster somehow or another, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe he'll go and chase after Saber, and that'll lead to his demise, hopefully. But either way, let's jump into this episode and see what happens. Hey, it's Initial D. Why isn't Ryder driving? Yes. Yes, you are a driving maniac right now. It's a toy. Okay. This is Initial D. She's like drifting and everything. Yeah. What if the enemy were to ambush you? Wait, what? Are they being... Oh. They called it. They're being ambushed. Are we starting the next round of the fight? Oh, Yes. Yes, we are. Well, maybe. Dude's in love with Saber. Do they, do servants forget everything whenever they're, recalled or summoned from the last time they were summoned? So she just looks like somebody that he was in love with. I hope he don't make it toward the end of this series. I just do not like him. He is so creepy. Why would she bother using the wind magic to hide her sword at this point if she's already revealed who she is? Isn't that a kind of waste of magic? So they're not gonna fight? I don't know if he actually would fight her at all, though. Oh, really? He would actually be a threat? That's sad. I was just hoping he was like nothing. The Bayside Warehouse. Oh, okay, so where Saber and Lancer were fighting. Non-standard clause. Really? You can actually summon with two masters? The fire alarm? He don't seem too worried about it. Ooh. Okay. All this within that building they're staying in? Hmm. Is all this to destroy Lancer and his master, Lord el-melloi? Is there like a hunk of building left over? That's protected by magic, I guess I mean. Oh, that's messed up. I thought when they were talking about working on people, they were like in a jail or something and had them in their cells, not kidnapping children. Wow. I like how they're talking through like a phonograph or whatever it's called. It's a violation of the rules to just run amok. Why would that matter? Just to protect the secrecy of the Holy Grail War? Yeah, that'd be a shame if you had to deploy assassin and people find out you still had a servant. I think he's just trying to win or get to the finale based on the fact that people think he's out. Am I guess, reading that correctly? Make people think he doesn't have a servant, and then at the very end, just sneak attack and win. Sorry I haven't said anything. There's just not really a whole lot to comment on right now. Kind of just talking about their points of views on things. His job is to monitor the other 5 masters. His wine. I'm gonna be bored. While I'm bored, I'll just drink your wine. I was too unguarded. So you never considered what you would actually wish for if you won? I guess you never considered winning? Is that correct to assume? That man. Which one? Which one's he mainly worried about? Oh. I've heard him mentioned before, but I don't remember who he's the master of. Well, alright, that was episode 6. And let's talk about it. Overall, I liked it. I'll give it a thumbs up. I didn't really care for the, well, I can't really say I didn't care for the kind of slower part at the end with Gilgamesh talking to Kotomine. We did learn a couple different things about his motive, or about their different agendas, things like that, how they feel about the Holy Grail War. I'll just kind of add to the fact that I didn't really have a whole lot to react to. It was more we were just getting information from it. But I did overall like the episode. Like I said, I'll give it a thumbs up. One thing I liked, well, I like the fact that Saber quickly rejected Castor, as you know from previously. I'm not a fan. I do not ship this couple. I hope that the Castor is quickly taken out of this Holy Grail War, because he is just not my favorite servant. But that was one thing I did like about the episode. Maybe the only thing I didn't like was Castor and his master. What they were doing to these kids. That's crazy. Really sadistic. Like I said in the reaction, I think Crunchyroll has the edited episodes, so I think, from what I understand, there are more graphic scenes in the uncut version. I can't remember if I went back and watched those yet or not for this particular episode. I'm filming this a little behind, kind of catching up, doing the reviews a couple days, weeks after watching the actual reaction. So let's go over the episode. I rewatched the episode with my reaction, so that was kind of interesting to go back through and see what I thought. So we started off with Saber and Irie going for a drive, doing a little initial D stuff. It was kind of fun. And then we got stopped by Castor. I was hoping right there it was going to be Saber just lost it and just took him out. But we find out Castor is somehow mistaken. And that was kind of interesting. He's thinking, I guess, she's Joan of Arc. I don't know if they alluded to that in episode 5. I could be wrong. I think in episode 5 it was just talking about how he found his soulmate. So in this one we find out that he's thinking that Saber, Arturia, is Joan of Arc, which I don't believe it is. I think he's just confused. So, so once again I had the question, why not just have Saber reveal her sword? Well, we come to find out that the assassins were watching, and I guess if they hadn't known already from watching other fights, they would have found out her true identity, revealing her weakness, things like that. So it was smart for her not to have revealed it. It was also kind of interesting that Saber stated that Castor could have actually taken her in her injured state, which I was surprised by because I don't really see Castor as that strong of an enemy, but I don't really see him that strong because he's just creepy. That don't really mean anything, so that's not really a good gauge. Not really for sure where Castor and his master, what was his master's name? Ryunosuke. I don't really know where they're at. I thought at first it was a prison, but I'm not really for sure now because, like I said, the Crunchyroll version has some scenes edited out, so it just looks like some pillars, some things like that. Some of the kids' torture scenes or whatever that was actually in the uncut version just weren't there. Excuse me. So let's jump ahead. So we cut back to Lancer, and he's questioned by his master about why he didn't kill Saber. You know, had all these opportunities, but he once again swears he'll bring in her head, and not to worry about it. We also find out, which I kind of thought this was interesting, that Kenneth added a non-standard clause to the traditional master-servant pact. And I'm just basically taking the Crunchyroll subtitle verbatim when I wrote that down. So I'm guessing that refers to the fact that he is the master, but that Sola Ui is also a master, but she's the one that just supplies the mana for Lancer. And Kenneth actually has the command seals and is able to tell him what to do. But I guess in a way they're both technically his master. I don't fully know how that works. But it was interesting. It was also pointed out that not many people can actually pull off this kind of two master setup, which, yeah, that, like I said, it's impressive. Fire. So they had the fire alarm go off. So I don't know. I guess maybe going back and watching my reaction, I just kind of saw the building being destroyed from like a mile away, I felt like. And even rewatching it, I just kind of felt like they were setting it up too good to just kind of give you all the right signs, at least to me, that the building was just going to be blown up. They just kept talking about different things so much that by the time it happened, I know I had some people saying, hey, I'm looking forward to your reaction to that building being blown up. You know, oh, that's going to be crazy. All that destruction to get to, Lancer's master. I kind of saw it coming. I'm sorry. That's really why I just wasn't, like, shocked by it or whatever. So, sorry. But, so it was... Saber's master. I'm still having trouble with names. So, Kiritsugu. So, yeah, I'll probably say many times that he seems kind of cowardly, underhanded maybe a little bit, just kind of doing all these little dirty tactics of like blowing up a building to just basically take out Kenneth and Lancer and stuff like that. So, yeah, I do see it as a cheap attack, but it wasn't surprising. With how things are going so far in this Holy Grail War, I don't see that as a surprising tactic. Honestly, I'm not surprised there is not more collateral damage going on with people just trying to take out other masters and servants and things like that. But in a non-suspect kind of way that it draws attention to the Holy Grail War itself, so that they just make it look like an accident or something like that, or some kind of act of terrorism, different things like that. So I also thought it was just kind of silly. I know I made the point in the video that yeah, the security didn't seem really that great if Kiritsugu could just go up and be like, yeah, I'm Kenneth, I'm out, I'm safe, I'm good. And they're just like, oh, all right, well, check you off, and well, everybody looks like they made it out. I would think they would want a little bit of proof, but I mean, maybe realistically, that's probably how it would have went down. Honestly, they might not even had a list in real life. I don't really know for sure how that would totally went down, but so we in the aftermath find that Assassin's Master, he shows up, looks around, and he attacks Maya, who is there. Ultimately, she escapes, and he's trying to find Kiritsugu, but obviously he's gone. He is just never around when you need him. He is always one step ahead of you, hiding somewhere else, I guess. So we had that moment where he's trying to find Kiritsugu. I think that's going to play out later on, because if he's already hunting him now, the whole thing where he went after Maya is just going to make him even more frustrated. I see that just really becoming a thing. So we cut over to Castor, and wow, I really need Ryunosuke. Is that it? Yes, Ryunosuke. Sorry, I have a list, but I don't have it memorized. So at least that helps. Thank you, Randall, for the list. So we cut back to them. They are abducting kids from their beds in Miyama and other cities, which, that's crazy to me. 15 kids so far, that's what it said. So, yeah, that's, what in the world? Dude is just not even trying to do this Holy Grail war. I mean, it was obvious from whenever he summoned Castor that he was just like, I'm just trying to summon a demon, or whoever. I just want some help to have fun, killing and whatnot. So, we cut and find out that it's a violation of the rules to run this amok. I guess, like I said, maybe in the reaction that it's more about the fact that they're pointing and drawing unnecessary attention from the public and might lead to the discovery of the Holy Grail War in the outside world. Kotomine and Gilgamesh talking. What was it? Kotomine, I think it is, was talking about finding the root, if I remember correctly. Let me see. No, it's Tokiomi. Tokiomi was the one, I think, trying to find the root. I don't know what the root is. If it's spoilery, I don't want to know. Maybe, I'm hoping maybe that'll be discussed. If it's not going to be discussed, sure, spoil away. There are a couple things that just kind of, like I've noticed so far from different comments and things, they're not really explained. They're just presumed that I know from maybe watching other series or different things like that, or maybe just the root is just basically the root, the source of all magic, or however that goes. So I don't really know. The talk between Kotomine and Gilgamesh, like I said, it wasn't a whole lot going on. I was just kind of trying to take it all in. I went back, rewatched it. There was a couple more things I picked up that whenever I was probably doing it live and watching it and reacting it, I was kind of like, okay, trying to take it all in, what's going on, trying to maybe see if there was something to react to in the moment. But the whole part with Gilgamesh wanting to know the motivations of the other masters, that was kind of interesting to me, thinking about it, that a servant would want to know the motivations behind the other masters. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Kotomine's job is to monitor the other 5 masters. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But also we find out that Kotomine has no real wish or desire for the Grail, or no reason to even go after it. Why even be involved? Is it just like part of his duty or something? Was he just doing it for someone else? Just bored? I mean, that's kind of odd to me. If it's spoilery, same deal. I don't maybe want to know, but I do, or maybe in the future it'll be revealed and you just bear with me. I'll get there eventually. But that's kind of where we left off, was with those two talking, and we're kind of doing a little bit of a build up, it feels like. So things are building up to conclusions with certain things. So I'm really hoping in the next episode we start to see some of these resolutions, maybe, or maybe we shift gears and go to different fights. Maybe Ryder actually has a fight of his own. Maybe Assassin becomes more active. Maybe Caster stops being so active with all of his shenanigans and running amok. I don't know, but it kind of feels like we're still setting up. There's still a lot of stuff, to go and do. No one's actually died yet in the Holy Grail War, and we're already on episode 6. So, yeah, not much progress being made, which is fine. I still find it interesting, all the different details and history and lore that are going on. So I'm not really in a rush to see people defeated, but I want to say this is a 24 episode season, 2 cours or however it's said. So there's plenty of time. But if you enjoyed this reaction, definitely subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever we release new episodes out. And go down below, do us a favor, check out our links in our Patreon. We do put out our episodes over there, full uncut, and we have extra content over there. And we would really appreciate the support once again. Also, if I haven't said it before, I do really appreciate the comments in persons, the comments in message, personal messages, the comments down below, just all the comments. I appreciate them. I appreciate that there really hasn't been too many spoiler ones. I don't really think there has been. So I do appreciate that effort. I am enjoying the journey so far. If you've made it to this point of the video, well, thank you for sticking around. Most time probably people are gone by this point. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next episode.